Donald Trump once again posted a video on his Twitter account that had music that he had no right to put on. He didn't ask for permission. No, he just decided to use someone's music. And YouTubers, first of all, know this. We know that we can't do that. We are on YouTube. If we happen to do the same thing, our videos are going to be taken down. And rightfully so. And turns out Twitter actually took down his video. And the music in question was made by Linkin Park. And I'm pretty sure most people know who Linkin Park is because it's like a pretty good band. Now, Linkin Park has written on their Twitter account, Linkin Park did not and does not endorse Trump nor authorize his organization to use any of our music. A cease and desist has been issued. Now, this is something I find completely understandable. I'm pretty sure normal people would understand this, that if I was a musician, which in fact I do make music, I'm not huge, I'm only like starting on my particular song this year, but if you're making music or you're making art, you don't appreciate it when someone else just takes your work and doesn't credit you in any way. They just take your work. And this is something that a lot of people have to go through. There's artists that are online where they post something, underneath it says their name. And there's people out there that just take the art, post it as their own, remove the name at the bottom. Now, Trump is not claiming that he wrote the song himself, but he's still using that song for his own political purposes. And the video in question was this whole anti-Biden video. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to watch it in its entirety before it was taken down. But I have watched a few seconds of it, and it is, in fact, a Linkin Park song that is being played in the video. And people, in fact, are making conspiracy theories. Oh my goodness. About the singer, Chester. As most of you may know, Chester committed suicide a couple years back. And I'm not the hugest fan. I don't know much about his past life, but he happened to have gone through unfortunate circumstances in his past. And people are making conspiracy theory on here that he died not from suicide, but because he was exposing some kind of pedophilic ring. I really don't know. I'm going to look more into it as we scroll down. But there are a lot of salty people, including Mindy Robinson, which is one of the most idiotic people I've ever come across, that says you should honestly be happy that anyone is still playing your music, in quotation marks. And funny enough, when we hear about conservatives, from conservatives, they would mention how they believe in upholding the law. They believe in the rights of other people. They believe in the Constitution, all of this stuff. But the minute someone rightfully says that it was wrong that someone actually took my music without crediting us and it's a copyright violation, people like Mindy Robinson are just like, hey, you should be happy that they took your music. You should be happy that they're getting you some kind of like the fact that people are actually paying attention to you now. Isn't that great? And wouldn't it be funny that it's the same exact thing when it comes to art? It's like someone posting your art when you didn't give them permission to, and someone like Mindy Robinson coming out and saying, well, you should be happy that they posted it there. That's not how it works. So clearly, as people know, a lot of conservatives out there, they really don't give a flying fuck about the Constitution. They don't give a right about the laws and regulations in their society. They only care about it when it fits their narrative. And the fact that Linkin Park came out and said, you know what, I don't like the fact that the President of the United States, and I'm not licking his boots, I don't care. I don't care who he is, what he did was wrong. And that's how it should be. No one is above the law. No one should be above the law. I don't care if he's president. I don't care if he works at Subway. I don't care what he does. If he did this, it is wrong. And then there's, of course, some people that were like, we don't like Donald Trump, which is, let's face it. I've gotten to a point in my particular moment in time, and I posted this on Twitter. When I first heard that Trump got elected, I was actually laughing. Because at the time, especially a lot of people I knew at the time, thought it was kind of funny. We're like, oh my goodness, we never thought he would get in, and now he's in, and people are getting mad and crying at the sky. We didn't think it was going to be that bad. Calm down, it's not a big deal. Not only a lot of the policies he put in place that actually take away the rights of LGBT people, we're looking at the fact that we're dealing with a global pandemic right now, and the United States, even though they got it around the same time that South Korea got it, let's check that out, shall we? South Korea COVID cases. The amount of new cases has dwindled. Like, look at how quickly it went down. And right now, it says the 18th of July, which is yesterday, 34 new cases in total. And look at New Zealand. 3. That's incredible, right? I wonder what policies they put in place to protect their citizens. And we can get into that a bit later. Now look at the United States. 65,389. And if you look at the total, the confirmed amount is 3.78 million and 142K deaths. And I'm sorry, it really frustrates me. The United States right now has a president that's actually blaming the previous administration that's been, he's been in office so far for about like 3 so years, and he's claiming that they didn't leave enough of the proper stuff that they're going to need for this pandemic, and it's all Obama's fault. It's all Obama's administration fault, even though he was there for several years. He could have done things himself. And people actually believe this. People are actually falling for this. Like, if we take it into account of like a totally different type of, let's say it's not presidency. Let's say it's someone that works at Subway. Someone's working at Subway, or someone's working at, like, who knows? I keep mentioning Subway. I have no idea why. And they come out and say, well, it's not my fault this happened. The person that worked here 3 years ago didn't replenish the shelves. It's their fault. It's not mine. I've only been working here for 3 years. Why is everyone complaining about my work? You see what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. So right now we're dealing with the fact that there's a global pandemic. And I don't care what anyone thinks about Biden right now. Biden, I guarantee, if it was Hillary or Biden, I really can't stand both of them, but I guarantee it wouldn't have gone this far when it comes to the pandemic. Because this is what he did. He's the one that was like, oh, it's just a hoax, it's not a big deal, and then suddenly it's a big deal, but like, people should still be able to go to work, people should still be able to go to school, we don't want to take their freedoms away, they don't have to wear masks. A lot of the people that were protesting wearing the masks were Trump supporters. So this is something that that is so frustrating about this whole ordeal, is that it's his supporters. It's him. He was influencing a lot of people to believe that it's not such a big deal. There was even a girl, a 16-year-old girl, that passed away because her parents listened to Donald Trump. First of all, the 16-year-old found out she had COVID. Her parents found out, and they were like, you know what? Let's listen to Donald Trump. Let's just listen to what he had to say. And the fact that Trump's administration wants to reopen the schools, and, they're saying stuff like, oh, we don't want science to get in the way of it. Well, we actually have to get science in the way of this because this is so ridiculous. You know why the reason why there's so many children that are not getting it in the same effect as other people? It's because they are staying home from school. Why is it so difficult to try to get all these kids to stay home, work from home, have their education from home, because a lot of people are homeschooled first of all, but they can be online. They can even get their tests done online. There's ways to get that done, but they don't want to do that. They want everything to go back to normal. And you know what? I understand that completely because it's a frustrating experience. People generally don't want to stay home for all this time. I was home and since March. Once in a while I go out. Now I can hang out with my sister a bit more. But you know, it's difficult. And I know a lot of people, they want to go out, they want to party, they want to hang out with their friends. It's summer, for Christ's sake. People want to have fun. But you know what? You know what happens when this happens? Like in my city, people went out to party and there was about 30 new cases in a day because everyone thought it was a good idea to go to the bar, not social distance, hang out for several hours, and yep, that's what's happening. So anyway, to not go off completely off topic, we're dealing with a global pandemic in which the United States is in fact the worst on handling it. There's in fact about, so far, 5 Black people that were lynched, 1 attempted lynching that we are aware of. There's police brutality. There's the fact that he ordered a bunch of feds to go and round people off, put them in undisclosed locations and in unmarked car. And the fact that reactionaries online are actually cheering it on disgusts me. And it's true. A lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are realizing that this president is insane. He wants it to be like North Korea, honestly. And I know some people might think it's funny that I'm saying that. I don't think it's funny. People are calling him fascist. People are saying, well, he's close to fascism. Or there's a lot of people that are like, well, he's not at all. Well, you know what? Look at what's happening right now. If he had it his way, he would want a bunch of CNN, all these type of media that portrays him in a light that he doesn't approve of. He would, if he had his way, he would get rid of them. He doesn't even like Fox News right now because Fox News is not licking his boots as much as he would like them to. Now, that's what I had to mention. And right now, when we're talking about Linkin Park, once again, these Trump supporters think that Trump is above the law and he has every right to do what he wants to do. And everyone else around him should just be happy that he exists. They should be happy that he's screwing over everyone. They should be happy that he's using their music. Did he even know how the music industry works? They have to know to like your stuff, to follow you. That's weird. Your lead singer was trying to expose pedophiles because of abuse he suffered and was murdered by organized crime figures that protect pedophiles. Chester's songs often were about how helpless it feels to be a child rape victim. POTUS chose that song for exactly that reason. Well, first off, it's not a good idea to go and claim that someone was murdered when you have absolutely no proof that they were, first off. And to claim that the POTUS chose that song for exactly that reason, how do you know they actually chose it for that reason? You're just assuming. I can't believe these people actually exist. And I agree. Why is there so many salty Trump fans in the comments? It's so unbelievable how many people. And they call us snowflakes. They actually call us snowflakes. We cry when something doesn't go our way, or we go in our safe space and we call everyone every name under the sun, like racist and Nazi, and we're the bad people, right? We're the ones that scream at everything. We're so we're gonna melt if anyone just criticizes us, even slightly. But here is a group that is rightfully calling out Trump because they're like, hey, you used our music when we didn't give you permission to. Does any of these people, first off, actually know? I'm curious. If this were to happen, not from Trump, but let's say someone else completely happens to use someone else's music, what would they say at this point in time? Would they be like, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. They shouldn't be using your music. That's wrong. I guarantee they would do that because you know what? They don't have an actual thought in their head. They're just going by everything's okay because Trump does it. Again, nice pedal symbolism. Linkin Park, I used to like y'all. Y'all are some weak-minded folks. Everyone forgot you before Bill Donald Trump gave you clout. And here it is. American Latina. Of course. I love Jesus. I'm not perfect, and he knows that. Well, you're definitely not perfect. Because this is what you posted. The president is saving children from being trafficked, and you're mad because he used your song. If you came out tomorrow and said, you know what, Trump, you can use our song, millions of us would buy your music immediately. Don't you care about children? And it's so funny. I was like, such a guilt trip there. And look, Trump is doing jack shit, first of all, but let's say if he really was. Does that still give him the right to take away someone's music? To use their music? Without permission? Clearly not. If you're thinking logically, as a lot of conservatives claim to think, logically, that makes no sense. None of what you do outside or in your office has anything to do with the fact that what you did was wrong and that they have a right to have a cease and desist. It's as simple as that. Now, this is the type of stuff that I'm posting. If people only knew how bad it is. I mean, first of all, Justin Trudeau is the Prime Minister of Canada. You know how many people he's going to take pictures with? It's the same exact thing that Democrats do when they post a picture of Trump with someone and they're like, oh, see? It's like, I need more than a picture, first off. So this is like, again, this is super ridiculous. And then you see Justin Trudeau with kids, which is like clearly no evidence to prove that Justin Trudeau is a pedophile at all. If I take a picture with kids, does that make, like, you know, Taylor Swift has taken multiple pictures with kids because she's a musician. She's a singer. Does that make her a pedophile too? Seriously, guys? Seriously? It's just unbelievable. And this is not the first time conservatives do this. This is not the first time they did this. They're upset with any form of criticism against Trump. They don't like anything when it, like, they claim freedom of speech. They claim like, oh, we're for the Constitution, we're for all of this, not all of this type of stuff. But like, if you go against what we believe, then you're awful. And it's the same mentality of like, oh, if you don't like it here, you can leave. Well, they were complaining 8 years when Obama was in. Did they leave? No, and you know why they didn't leave? Because they're like, you know what? I don't agree with Obama and I'm going to fight the good fight because I'm an American and this is who I am. And I'm not going to leave the country that I love. And you know, a lot of people are thinking the exact same thing. The reason why a lot of people are not leaving, and I used to be one of those people that laughed at the celebrities that were claiming they were going to leave, and then all these people came forward and said, well, you didn't leave. Well, let me think this through. Maybe they realized that it was a bad idea to leave because they wanted to still help out. And a lot of these people that were claiming that they were going to leave, they're actually involved in activism. So they're doing a lot to help other people. And maybe they realize that, hey, Trump is in office. I really don't like it, clearly. There's a lot of things that are happening. And I would feel like a bad person if I left this all behind. I need to do something to hope that this doesn't get any worse.